You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. I'm Brady Mallory.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. Thanks for being with us. Susan has the week off.
What a way to start the day. It is a beautiful day outside today.
It is absolutely perfect again.
As we start off the work week, let's get a first look at our first warn forecast coming off of another beautiful Labor Day weekend.
But we do have some changes on the way. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us now from the patio. Lucky guy.
Yes, very lucky. I wish I could do all the weathers out here because it's going to be a couple of days now where I'm probably not going to want to be out on the patio because we do have some big changes on the way. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all good things coming to an end here, unfortunately, as showers, a couple isolated thunderstorms tonight out ahead of a cold front. We're going to get a lot colder on Wednesday, lasting into the weekend. More showers Thursday night going into Friday. This is going to be a stretch of weather that's going to feel very much like fall. And we already have a couple showers and isolated storms to the west of La Crosse, just trying to enter Vernon and Crawford counties, but the thunderstorms are out more towards the Mason City area. And that's a hint at things to come. That's out ahead of that cold front that will slowly work its way into the area uneventfully as we get towards 9-10 o'clock. But it's really going to change as you go into the early morning hours of Wednesday. And behind that front, first to just let you know, look how cold we're going to get Thursday going on into Friday. Our average high this time of year is 78, and we see no temperatures even close to 78 until we get a little bit closer out to the end of the 10-day period. But let's track that front together in a couple minutes. When I return, I'll show you who gets the showers and the storms, how windy conditions are going to be with that front, and then how cold those morning lows are going to be for the kiddos come Thursday morning.
Thank you, Alex. A person has been charged with 12 counts of criminal damage to property after multiple reports in Evansville almost 3 weeks ago. The Evansville Police Department received reports of property damage involving vehicles with broken windows on August 16th. A suspect is in the Rock County Jail. Their name has not been released. There are 9 cases still under investigation.
Madison police are investigating a reported shooting on Sunday night near East Mifflin Street. Officers arrested a man matching several color descriptions. He was later released after police decided he was not involved in the incident. No shell casings, firearms, or signs of damage were found at the scene, but anyone with information is being asked to please contact Madison police. And police are looking for 4 men seen driving a construction crane through downtown Madison Sunday afternoon. Officers responded to West Main Street before 12:30 p.m. after a caller reported seeing this moving down the street. Officers found the abandoned crane in the middle of the street with the keys inside. The vehicle has been moved to a safe location.
The Ho-Chunk Nation of Wisconsin has filed a lawsuit in district court claiming 2 online platforms are running an illegal sports gambling enterprise. The nation's attorneys say Kalshi and Robinhood frame illegal sports betting as event contracts, which allow users to predict sports outcomes. These contracts allegedly interfere with the nation's authority to regulate gaming on Indian land. The suit further claims that both platforms engage in racketeering and false advertising.
Well, Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Susan Crawford overheard her first case on the bench today. The case was centered around the 4th Amendment and whether a person is entitled to a reasonable expectation of privacy with data uploaded to a Snapchat account from their phone. Justice Crawford was welcomed to the bench with open arms and got right to work.
We have a new justice with us today. Justice Susan Crawford, welcome. You look right at home down there. Glad you are here with us.
How's that different than a landlord-tenant situation? The tenant didn't create the apartment, does not maintain the apartment, has the relationship probably under a lease that allows that landlord to enter the apartment.
Justice Crawford's election victory this April cemented a 4-3 liberal majority on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The election also saw Elon Musk and affiliated groups pour over $20 million into efforts to flip the court to conservative control. And as the kids head back to the classroom, the city of Madison is urging you to be especially careful when driving. Some reminders include reducing speed in school zones, watch for more pedestrians and people on bikes, be prepared to stop near those crosswalks, and in the crosswalks, look out and watch for the crossing guards. Avoid distractions like your cell phones and be patient when you're out and about.
And for some, the first few days of school, well, they can be tough. So a few students going to school around the state gave us some advice to help start off the year. Angel says, don't be nervous, make lots of friends, and have a lot of fun. That's good advice. Angelia says, don't sweat it. Just have fun, also great advice. Kyrie says, don't be that scared because once you stay longer into it, you won't be that scared. Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that. Just like our job. Well, News 3 Now's 40th. You hear that? 40th already. Annual Coats for Kids Winter Coat Collection is kicking off next Monday, September 8th with an all-day-long Pack the Truck event. It's from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. The Boys and Girls Club of Dane County will have a van parked outside of Clinky Cleaner's Monona Drive location to collect donations, including kids' winter jackets and accessories. Now, there is a special need for infant, toddler, and then larger teen sizes, and adult donations are also accepted. You can also make donations at any Dane County Clinky Cleaners or here at the News 3 lobby through October 4th. Well, it is the start of a new school year, as we mentioned.
Yeah, good luck, everyone. Tens of thousands of students across our area have gotten on the bus and come home again on their first day of school.
Our Jalen Banks joins us live from Memorial High School with how the first day went. Hey, Jalen.
Sarah and Brady, for many students across the area, they returned back to the classroom today for their first day of school. For MMSD, grades 4K, kindergarten, 6th grade, and 9th all returned to the classroom today for their first day of school. Just behind me is Memorial High School on the city's west side. They're just wrapping up their first day of school. Now, if you remember, MMSD made some changes to the times that schools would end for staggering the times to help out first student, their busing partner, to help with the smoothness and how which the busing routes would run. Elementary school would end their days around 2:30, high school would end their days around 3:30, and middle school would end their days around 4:30. Now, earlier today, I caught up with a parent who has both middle school and high school students on how these end times have impacted their family and how they've had to adjust due to the different busing issues with first student. We'll hear from them tonight at 5. But for now, reporting on the city's west side at Bell Phillips Memorial High School, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Jalen. We have some breaking news today at 4. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the body of a 33-year-old man has been recovered from Lake Mendota. Deputies say they found him just before 1 this afternoon after he was missing at about 5:40 yesterday. Crews searched until 8 but were unable to locate the man. Early this morning, recovery efforts took place in roughly 30 feet of water using divers, sonar, and an underwater drone. Well, next on Live at 4, the latest from Washington as Congress returns after a month-long break and a government shutdown looms.
Plus, Josh is going back to school in the 608. He talks with staff at Madison Metropolitan Schools about their first day of school.
And Alex is back with the first warn forecast. After some milder temperatures, it feels like fall is on the horizon, plus some showers could be on the way.
And then we are just under a week away from the Packers' first regular season game this Saturday. Jason Wilde talks about how prepared the team is, and we tell you where you can catch the game.
Well, here we are. It's the first day of school for many students in the 608, and that includes the Madison Metropolitan School District.
Josh Sprider visited one of the schools on the west side this morning as they returned for the new year.
Well, it was a big day for families here in the Madison Metropolitan School District as many students head back to the classroom today. We were at Olson Elementary this morning as families were dropping off their kiddos for the first day of school. This is on Madison's southwest side, and Madison School District, like many major school districts across the area, go in a phased return. So many of the new students in new schools head back today. That includes pre-K, kindergarten, 6th, and 9th grade. We spoke with the deputy superintendent of the Madison Metropolitan School District about what makes this year so exciting.
Embracing the newness of the year. We have a lot going on in MMSD this year. We're truly excited about it, truly excited to welcome back our teachers and staff, truly excited to have our students back. So just really just coming with that can-do attitude.
And the rest of the students, this is their last day of summer. Everyone will be back in the classroom tomorrow. I'm Madison Southwest Side. I'm Josh Sprider, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh. The transition from that lazy summer schedule to the hectic fall frenzy, it can be rough for kids and parents. Experts from New York University have some recommendations, though. Establish a routine. Listen to your children's worries and reassure them. And don't overschedule them with activities. They say part of the routine could include starting off the day with 10 minutes in the sun to help reset the body's sleep-wake cycle, and cutting out screen time a few hours before bed.
And right now the sun is a good idea, but I don't know, it might get a little bit chilly for that.
Yes, it is.
Alex is going to tell us more about the first warm weather and what we have coming.
You know, when you think of going back to school, you think of fall, and it's going to feel just like fall in really less than about 12 to 14 hours, to be that specific, because we got showers in our forecast tonight, maybe a rumble of thunder, more showers Thursday night going into Friday. But the biggest part of our weather story is the cooler temperatures that will start on Wednesday and really last clear into the weekend and clear all the way into the 10-day forecast. Where are showers right now? A couple thunderstorms too, just west of Viroqua, just north and west of Prairie du Chien, over north central and northeast Iowa. Those showers, isolated storms, are likely going to stay to the west, but then more showers and a couple thunderstorms are going to move into the area along a cold front that moves through during the early morning hours, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Dells up towards Marquette, Green Lake counties, Lone Rock, Mineral Point, maybe even Madison, an isolated shower. Can't rule out a rumble or two of thunder, but we're not expecting widespread showers. We're not expecting widespread thunderstorms, and we're not expecting severe weather with this cold front. Last of those showers out of here by mid-morning hours on Wednesday. What's left over, those northwesterly breezes bringing in cool air from the north and from the west. It's the sparse nature of the shower and thunderstorm activity in the combination with a fast-moving front. Not expecting a lot of water with this cold front, but we have more water in the forecast. We are expecting, where you see all the oranges and the reds here, 6:30 in the morning, kiddos waiting out at the bus. Be ready to hold on to your hat because it's going to be pretty breezy out ahead of that front. And then this is not a misprint here. I'm actually going to back things up here just a little bit here. Look at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning as we go into Thursday. Temperatures in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees. That probably isn't the day to be wearing shorts. You might even be considering a light fall jacket as we start off Thursday. And that cool stuff is going to stick around as we go from Thursday into Friday with more rain chances, good rain chances Thursday night. A little bit later in the half hour, we'll take a look at that chance of rain as it does pose more shower activity that we can expect Thursday night going on into Friday. And here's the temperatures. All of these are approximately 5 to 10 degrees below normal as we go through the next 10 days. So fall, it's in the air across southern Wisconsin. Big changes on the way here as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, football weather is on its way.
That's indeed as well.
Well, speaking of, Micah Parsons is making history before even playing a snap at Lambeau Field. The Packers' new star pass rusher will wear number 1, the first Packer to do so since Curly Lambeau nearly a century ago.
That's right. Parsons had hoped for his old number 11, but is embracing a number loaded with history. Our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more.
There was a lot of conversation around Lambeau Field yesterday about jersey numbers. New star pass rusher Micah Parsons wearing number 1 for the first time in 99 years and only being the second Packer to ever wear it. Curly Lambeau, the guy whose name is on the stadium, was first. Matthew Golden, the wide receiver, switching from number 22 to number 0 to make him the first Packers player to ever wear 0 as his number. And there were some other players who switched jerseys as well, but an interesting factor in Micah Parsons' choice. He was number 11 with the Dallas Cowboys, and he wanted to get number 11 from Packers wide receiver Jayden Reed. But there was a catch. If you are an existing player and there is a stock of your jerseys that have been printed and created for the Packers Pro Shop and Fanatics and everywhere else, you have to pay for all the number jerseys you currently have before you can switch to a new jersey number. There was no connection for Jayden Reed to number 11. He wore number 1 at Michigan State. He wore number 4 in high school. But he wasn't interested in paying the freight for all those 11 Reed jerseys in the Packers stock room. So he passed on changing up the numbers. But as Jayden Reed put it, you make the number. You don't let the number make you. From Green Bay, Jason Wilde, Channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. I feel like I learned a lot.
Me too.
This Saturday, the Packers are taking on the Lions, and you can watch that right here this Saturday. Tune in at 3:30 for the CBS Sports broadcast of that season opener at Lambeau. And stick around that Saturday. We will have plenty of coverage of local high school football games, too. Then Wisconsin Huddle films the first episode of the season at Jay's Lounge Monday at 7.
Football is here. Well, coming up on Live at 4, Congress is back in session after a month-long recess.
And a federal judge has called the National Guard deployment in Los Angeles illegal. What that could mean for future deployments. Red numbers on Wall Street today. The Dow is down nearly 250 points. The Nasdaq lost 175. The S&P 500 is down 44.
Well, Congress has returned from its summer recess, and there is a lot on the agenda.
But President Trump is getting some pushback despite Republican majorities in both chambers of Congress.
Torian Small has more details from Capitol Hill.
Survivors arrived on Capitol Hill for closed-door meetings with lawmakers investigating convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
It's for us to hear from them, to express our deep sympathy for what they've been made to endure, and to ensure them that we have been and always will be for maximum transparency.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has said he would prefer the DOJ handle the case while lawmakers focus on other issues, including the budget, which must be passed by the end of the month.
The House will be in order.
But some members of the House Oversight Committee are pushing for a vote that will compel the Department of Justice to release all Epstein-related files.
Republican lawmakers have a more pressing deadline. President Trump's federal takeover of D.C. police is set to expire next week unless Congress extends it.
We cannot and will not allow D.C. to fall into a hellscape again. When the local government fails, it's our constitutional duty to act.
House Republicans are planning to introduce bills to give federal government more time to deploy National Guard troops in D.C. streets, something the president is threatening to repeat in Chicago, posting on social media, quote, "I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again and soon."
We're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
Tuesday morning, a federal judge ruled Trump violated the law when he deployed the National Guard and Marines to the streets of Los Angeles in June. Torian Small, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, U.S. District Judge Charles Breyer's decision restricts the use of service members to engage in arrests, apprehensions, searches, seizures, traffic, and crowd control. However, he put a 10-day stay on his decision to give the Trump administration time to respond. There are still roughly 300 National Guard troops stationed in Los Angeles right now.
Developing now in Afghanistan, the search for survivors continues following the weekend's deadly earthquake. A 6.0 quake struck eastern Afghanistan late Sunday, killing at least 1,400 people. Officials say the death toll could rise significantly as many people are feared to be trapped beneath the rubble.
Coming up on Live at 4, the Dane County Sheriff's Office provides an update on the homicide investigation in the town of Mesa Maney.
And the new details that provide a timeline that links a murder in a cabin to a high-speed chase and a shootout 200 miles away.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
Welcome back to Live at 4. It's a Tuesday after a long weekend, so if you have the case of the Mondays, just go outside. It's very nice out.
And you can remember that it's Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. We're almost there, everyone.
And we want to get a check on the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington, the lucky guy I keep saying, is outside on the weather patio. Beautiful day out there.
Yes, it is gorgeous out here right now. Mid-70s. But this mid-70 temperatures is going to be a thing of the past, unfortunately. I always like to be the perpetual optimist, but we got a lot of fall-like weather in the forecast. And it starts off with some showers and isolated thunderstorms tonight out ahead of a cold front. Another chance of fall-like rain Thursday night going into Friday with cool temperatures starting Wednesday, lasting clear into the weekend. And I'll let you know during this half hour how cold those temperatures are going to be. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and show the radar 3000 here and then show you those temperatures to give you an idea of how big these changes are going to be. Showers that we're seeing out to the west, that's not the main show. Main show is going to be a little bit later tonight with that cold front. And there we go. Friday, 60. That's all we're going to do. Average highs are right around 80 degrees this time of year. 20 degrees below normal, even as we head out to the end of the 10-day period. Those temperatures are going to be starting to approach normal. So the main takeaway is we have a long stretch of fall-like weather, and with that stretch of fall-like weather, we're going to look at that cold front together in a few minutes. We're going to track that cold front with Future Track to show you when you can expect showers, any thunderstorms, and then those Thursday morning temperatures might be a bit of a shock for those that are going to be outside. I'll show those as well, and also your Packer forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Alex. We'll continue to following breaking news at 4. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the body of a 33-year-old man has been recovered from Lake Mendota. Deputies say they found him just before 1 o'clock this afternoon after he was missing at 5:40 yesterday. Crews searched until 8 o'clock but were unable to locate the man. Then early this morning, recovery efforts took place in roughly 30 feet of water using divers, sonar, and an underwater drone.
An update in the homicide investigation in Mazomanie. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says 70-year-old Thomas Muckler was killed by a 23-year-old man who broke into his cabin. Muckler's body was found late last Thursday at a cabin along Dunlap Hollow Road. The sheriff says Muckler left Madison that morning to go to the cabin where he discovered the man was staying. Police shot and killed the 23-year-old man after a standoff in Marinette.
I want to first provide our deepest condolences to the families of the deceased. This was a horrific and senseless homicide of from a member of our most vulnerable population, and that's a member of our elderly community. And we want everyone to know that this does not represent the community of the town of Mazomanie, nor the town or Dane County as a whole.
The suspect's name has not yet been released. The two investigations into the shooting in Marinette and the cabin in Mazomanie are ongoing.
The Columbia County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrested multiple teens after 3 separate high-speed pursuits over the weekend. The first pursuit was on Highway 16 in Lewiston. A deputy tried to stop a motorcycle with no license plate, but the driver sped away after briefly stopping. The second chase on Sunday ended with the arrest of an 18-year-old from Chicago who was driving 136 miles per hour. Finally, another driver drove into a cornfield after failing to turn in a high-speed chase. A teen driver and 2 passengers were arrested.
The former dean of students at Sun Prairie West High School faces charges of child sexual exploitation, and he appeared in court today.
Our Maddie Heimsch was there and joins us now ahead of tonight's school board meeting. Hi, Maddie.
Robert Gilkey-Meissegeyer faces 15 felony counts, 13 of those for possession of child pornography and 2 others for sexual exploitation of a child. Now, through his attorney, the former dean of students at Sun Prairie West High School entered not guilty pleas on all of those counts in court today. And allegations against him include sexual acts with students both on and off campus and taking photos of those students without their consent. And a criminal complaint alleges that multiple underage students were victims of Gilkey-Meissegeyer's actions. Additionally, last week it was announced that other staff members in the Sun Prairie School District were put on leave amid the investigation, but the district would not identify which staff members those were. The district also says all high schoolers will participate in classes put on by the Sexual Violence Resource Center this Thursday, just as the school year begins. Now, as of Meissegeyer's appearance in court today, his scheduling conference to schedule those next steps in the case is for October 30th. And there's a closed session school board meeting right here at the district tonight at 6 o'clock. A group of parents is expected to rally outside of the meeting in protest right around 5:30. So we'll be here throughout the evening to provide updates. Reporting live in Sun Prairie, I'm Maddie Heimsch, News 3 Now.
Okay, thank you, Maddie. In other news, Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway announced the city's 2026 capital budget and multi-year improvement plan. She highlighted planned investments in infrastructure, housing, and community facilities. Speaking at the soon-to-open Imagination Center, the mayor said that libraries are just one piece of critical infrastructure keeping Madison's economy moving.
Government's job is to invest in the basic infrastructure that allows our economy to thrive and people to have a high quality of life in Madison. And we're here today at the Imagination Center because we know that libraries are critical infrastructure for a thriving community.
She also noted that there has been a roughly $74 million reduction in agency requests. So that allows the city to continue their focus on projects like road work, flood mitigation, and affordable housing. That budget will be introduced tonight at the Madison Council meeting, with community input welcomed in the coming weeks.
Dane County Executive Melissa Agard has announced today the county has again received a AAA bond rating in the S&P Global Ratings Report. The S&P's review highlights several strengths, including a growing economy, good financial management, balanced budgets, strong planning and oversight, and a manageable debt profile. The rating means Dane County is very likely to meet its financial commitments. A correction from earlier in the show. This Sunday, the Packers are taking on the Lions. You can watch that right here on Sunday. Tune in at 3:30 for the CBS Sports broadcast of that season opener at Lambeau. And this Friday, we will have plenty of coverage of local high school football games too. Then Wisconsin Huddle films the first episode of the season at Jay's Lounge Monday at 7 o'clock. Well, next on Live at 4, you'll soon have fewer options for decorating your home.
We'll show you why a go-to home furnishing chain is closing some locations and where you'll see those in Wisconsin. And some cooler temperatures coming our way, but how cold do we mean? We'll check in with Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington on when we'll need to break out the sweatshirts.
A new way to treat recurring breast cancer and the possible reasons for major racial disparities in heart disease.
Michael George has the day's top health stories.
Black adults in the U.S. are hospitalized with heart failure nearly 14 years before white patients. A Northwestern University study also found Hispanic patients are hospitalized around 8 years earlier than white patients, and Asian patients about 3 years earlier. The study's authors say the reasons include health insurance status and educational and economic disparities, which can limit access to quality health care. A new treatment approach is showing promise, preventing breast cancer from returning. A University of Pennsylvania clinical trial found it's possible to identify breast cancer survivors at risk of their cancer coming back by locating dormant cancer cells in their bodies. Already existing cancer drugs were able to clear those dormant cancer cells in 80% of the trial's participants. And depression may make it harder for people to learn to avoid unpleasant events in their life. Researchers from the University of British Columbia tested hundreds of participants by exposing them to unpleasant sounds. People with more severe depression struggle to learn to avoid the sounds. It's still not clear how depression affects the brain's ability to avoid unpleasant events. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News.
Well, packaged food company Kraft Heinz will split into two companies next year. One company will focus on things like sauces, spreads, and shelf-stable meals, including brands like Philadelphia and Kraft Mac and Cheese. The other company will focus on grocery items for food away from home, like Oscar Mayer, Kraft Singles, and Lunchables. The split will reverse a massive but largely unsuccessful merger. The new companies have not yet been named.
Furniture and decor chain store At Home will be closing 29 stores by the end of the month, including locations in Wauwatosa and Madison. The company says the chosen locations are underperforming. At Home filed for bankruptcy back in June, citing interest rates, inflation, and tariffs as reasons for that. The stores closing in Wisconsin are located on North Mayfair Road in Wauwatosa and Zier Road here in Madison.
Coming up on Live at 4, we have Dr. Jeff Potoff here to talk about how a hearing device can reduce your chance of dementia. That's just after the break.
Well, slashing your dementia risk may start with boosting your hearing.
Yeah, this is interesting. According to the Journal of the American Medical Association, adults with hearing loss who reported wearing hearing aids before they were 70 years old cut their risk of dementia by more than half, compared with those who had hearing loss and did not wear those hearing devices.
This is very fascinating. Dr. Jeff Potoff is here to go over these findings and how they could affect you. And we were chatting beforehand. How is it possible that hearing associated with dementia or how do they connect?
Yeah, you'd be like, well, what does hearing have to do with me being confused and not knowing whose my kids' names are? But there actually is a long-standing kind of connection between hearing loss and dementia. We think there's a couple things that lead into that. One, people who can't hear are often socially isolated. isolated. If you can't be part of the conversation, you struggle to hear, you don't have as much interaction. We know that's a risk factor for dementia. And the brain is one of those, you got to use it or you lose it kind of thing. So if you're unable to hear and you're not processing that stimulation, we think that can sometimes lead to the development of dementia too.
Yeah, these are some pretty interesting specific findings. So how do you think that this can help like the society at large?
Yeah, there's a few take-home messages with this study. So one, it looks like there's an inflection point at age 70. So if you're going to get hearing aids because you have hearing loss, there's some value in getting that done before age 70, because if you get those hearing aids before age 70, 61% reduction in dementia. That's a huge deal. If you wait till after 70, it seems like the damage is kind of done. We don't see that benefit. The other thing in this study, when they looked at people who would qualify for hearing aids and looked at how many of them actually had them, only 17%. So there's a whole bunch of people out there who could benefit from hearing aids that don't have them. So I think that's the other message here is, if you need hearing aids, get them before age 70. If you don't have hearing aids, maybe get them. You might not be the coolest cat on the block with your hearing aid, but if it reduces dementia by 61%, it might be worth it.
But regardless of being the coolest cat, I think what I read was that it's the importance of conversation.
Yeah.
So you can have conversation rather than being isolated if you have that device.
I think the other thing is when you have hearing loss, it happens slowly so that you don't actually know that you have bad hearing loss until you get tested. And then sometimes people are like, you got to be kidding me, my hearing's fine. So sometimes people will fight you because they don't even realize that their hearing is as bad as it is until they get the hearing aid, and then it's kind of like a whole new world.
Yeah. What about access to hearing aids? How hard or easy is it to get them?
I think this is a good point, because it used to be in the past that it was really difficult to get good hearing aids. You needed to see an audiologist. It was really expensive, and some people just were like, I can't afford this. Now there's been some changes to how hearing aids are regulated, and they're much more accessible and much more affordable. So if cost and kind of hassle were a barrier before, that might be gone.
Yeah. And they can be they're smaller now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, very, very tiny, super comfortable. With all these battery technologies, they don't have to be large. Some good stuff.
Yeah, they're easy to miss, I've noticed. Not like our big pieces here.
Our little earpieces in here.
Dr. Jeff Potter from UW, thank you so much for joining us, as usual.
Good to see you. Well, let's get a look at our first warning forecast. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington has some fall-like weather ahead.
I sure do, and out ahead of that fall-like weather that's going to take hold across all of southern Wisconsin, we've got some showers out ahead of that cold front. That cold front still well to the northwest, but just north of Prairie du Chien, right along the Mississippi River, a couple of showers, couple of rumbles of thunder. Those showers and those rumbles of thunder likely going to stay way off to the north and towards the west for at least the evening hours, with better chances as we head towards, let's say, after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning. Here are those showers, couple of rumbles of thunder, Camp Douglas, the Dells, Lone Rock, Mineral Point, just east of Darlington, south and west of Madison. Those showers moving through the Madison area between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. and still a couple of dots of showers and a couple of rumbles of thunder as we go from 6 a.m. through at least the mid-morning hours. Can't rule out a sprinkle during the afternoon, but the main front is going to come through during the mid to late morning hours on Wednesday, and behind it we're going to have that cold fall-like temperatures moving into the area. The speed of the front and the sparse nature of the shower and rumbles of thunder out ahead of it may be a tenth to a quarter of an inch at most of water, and those winds gusting at times to 25 to 30 miles per hour out ahead of that front. So kiddos, get ready for that Wednesday morning. And then the bus stop forecast is going to include temperatures in the upper 30s to the lower 40s to start off Thursday morning. Our normal low temperatures this time of year are a good 10 to 15 degrees warmer than that. So a rather brisk start to Thursday, and then Thursday night going into Friday, another weather system will bring more showers to the area, maybe a rumble of thunder. That looks to be a bit more in the widespread category for rain. And looking at that 10-day forecast from left to right, Wednesday all the way through the following Friday, temperatures in the upper 60s to the lower 70s, lows in the 40s to the lower 50s, significantly below normal temperatures are going to continue all the way through the 10-day forecast. And Well, we've got the Packers forecast coming up here right now on this graphic here. They play the Lions at Lambeau Field at 3:25 p.m. That's when kickoff is. Temperatures are expected to be right around 63 degrees, halftime 64, and at the end of the game, just a touch cooler at 62. So if you're heading up that direction towards Lambeau Field for the game this upcoming Sunday, it's going to be pretty beautiful. Bring the shades, the sunglasses, and bring maybe a light jacket. Overall, it's just going to be a touch on the cool side, feeling certainly very, very fall-like.
Got to throw the first pitch at a Brewers game yesterday.
But he had a surprise assistance from a four-legged friend.
There's nothing like the anticipation leading to a first pitch at a baseball game. For James Small,
a lot of surprises today.
The game of catch he imagined quickly turned into a game of fetch.
Are thrilled to present you with Hawk.
Certainly not something I expected to have today.
The Brewers teamed up with Vortex and Custom Canines to deliver Golden Retriever Hawk to James at Monday's Brewers game.
He applied for a service dog through our organization, and we have a very, very long waiting list, but when Vortex and the Brewers stepped up and said, hey, we want to sponsor a local hero, he was the first choice for us.
James had no idea it was coming.
It's just been a lot of surprise planning on the back end, a lot of emails.
However, James has a background that made the team at the Brewers take pause.
I do a lot of work with the peer support teams in the region, and I know having a dog like that's going to be helpful.
He's served Milwaukee for over 30 years as a first responder in multiple fields.
I was diagnosed with PTSD 9 years ago and have been treated for that since then. And I know a lot of other people, and I've been able to help advocate for them through the peer support programs and so on too. So I'm looking forward to doing more of that.
As James and Hawk took the field, it became clear they have plans to knock it out of the park together.
Dogs are really helpful with people in times of distress, and I really look forward to being able to work with my own canine.
The Brewers face the Phillies tomorrow at American Family Field at 6:40 p.m. I hope James and Hawk get to watch.
Oh my gosh, my heart is so happy. I love those.
Very special, very cute.
And we have a beautiful forecast today and a big time cool down.
Yeah, this time tomorrow we're going to be feeling something totally different in southern Wisconsin. Starts off with just a few showers out there on radar 3000. You'd be thinking, okay, a couple showers, no big deal here. But as we move through the rest of the evening, those showers staying off to the west overnight tonight, or through the evening hours rather. And then as we go into the overnight hours, we're going to see those showers and a couple rumbles of thunder. Not expecting severe weather though with this cold front to become a little bit more widespread. Nonetheless, don't be surprised to hear a grumble of thunder in the morning here, because we'll be grumbling a little bit behind that weather system after it moves through. Winds are going to come in from the north and from the west, ushering in some really, really cool stuff into the area. That cool weather is going to last right into the weekend. We got another weather system too that we need to track, so you should keep your TV tuned right here to Channel 3 during the 5 o'clock newscast. I'll take us through that other weather system and then also let you know how cool the weather's going to get the next couple of days.
All right, thanks, Alex.
And we'll be right back. Tomorrow on Live at 4, college students moving to UW-Madison might not be so familiar with the city, so we are highlighting all of the sights and sounds for the college newbies coming to town. And Miss Teen Wisconsin also stops by. And later on News 3 Now at 5, we continue our back-to-school coverage as many in our area are heading home from their first day of school. With new bus routes, are there any issues arising? We'll take a look. Well, thanks for watching us today on Live at 4. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And remember, you can always catch us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.